All right, my friends, happy Wednesday night. Heather Sika Leonard here, coming to you live from Brooklyn, Connecticut with our ER Shred Come Alive call. I am so excited to be here tonight to launch this call and have some great conversations with people about that. I caught myself, I knew what was about to happen. Have some great conversations about the ER Shred protocol and the way we have impacted so many lives. Wednesdays make me happy because we have the opportunity to see how wide this ER Shred protocol has reached, and our community is growing on the daily basis. We are almost at 25,000 members. I can't wait till we have that momentous moment. It's going to be fantastic. A couple of quick announcements before we move on to our first guest of the night. I would like to thank Kathy Peters for being my guest on the Shred Your Body call last night. Kathy did an amazing job giving us some awesome tidbits of information as she shared her story, and I'm grateful she allowed me to be the one to ask those questions. I know, reflecting on that call, I listened to it again on my way to work this morning. I was thinking about my word choice, and it was really powerful to be mindful that my words are coming from a place of positivity to bring my natural vibration up. So thank you, Kathy Peters, for that. Last week, Mr. Lenny Evans, the spirit of the ER Shred, gave us another amazing training with the Shredder's Way. That training is offered via email if you can't be live on our Zooms. So please make sure you join us in Shredders Unite, www.shreddersunite.com, to join us in that Facebook community and get all the information around Shredder's Way. That will be live on Zoom tomorrow night, but that will not be broadcast anywhere. So make sure you are with us on that. That being said, Jennifer Campbell, you were the first one I acknowledged tonight. So I'm going to call on you first, my friend. Jennifer, are you out there?
I am. Thank you for having me.
Welcome, Jennifer. So where are you calling in from?
From Hellertown, Pennsylvania, which is on the east coast of Pennsylvania.
Okay. All right. So you're not too far. I'm only up in Connecticut.
Okay.
And what's something you're passionate about?
Teaching.
Really? What do
I'm
you teach?
also a teacher. I've been teaching dance as a teenager and then teaching kindergarten for the last 22 years. And
bless you.
Yeah,
I'll deal with hormones. You can deal with the little ones.
And I say the exact opposite. I don't want to do that age. But I'm also a mom of 2 teenagers, so I get those hormones as well. And a wife of 20 years as well.
Congratulations, 20 years. Good for you.
Thank you.
And what kind of dance do you teach?
I used to teach. I haven't taught dance since my daughter was born, so 15 years. But I taught everything, but floor gymnastics was my favorite, called acrobatics.
Wow. That sounds like
I used to love flipping and doing all kinds of fun things like that.
And I have somebody dancing the floss behind me.
I get it.
He's only 2 years out of kindergarten, so. And who shared ER Shred with you?
I randomly found it. I don't even remember how. I must have been in an Isagenix group because I did Isagenix 7 to 9 years ago. And I just kept seeing it repeating. And I was like, what is this? And so nobody ever officially said, hey, you might like this or check this out. It was I randomly came across it. I'm so grateful that I did. I found the group and just started. It took me about a month to really take in everything that everybody's saying, read the guides, reread them again right before I started because I still didn't trust myself, and commit to it because that was the biggest thing. Mindset is huge.
Mindset absolutely is huge. So did you continue Isagenix? Were you still utilizing the products when you saw ER Shred, or did you come back to the products when you saw ER Shred?
Kind of both. So I used it 5 to 7 years ago or 7 to 9 years ago. I don't even know at this point. It was a long time ago. I got amazing results. I was down to better than when I had my children, college size, and felt amazing. And it really worked. And then I got off of Isagenix because at the time, I thought I was allergic to the whey. Well, I'm finding out it's actually the culprits of everything else. It's not really the shakes because they're not doing anything to me now. It was everything else I was eating. But I got away from it thinking that the whey protein was what was making my face like completely break out and wanting to rip my skin off. So I let it go for a while. And then the pandemic hit, and I was a virtual kindergarten teacher and stressed out beyond belief, and also in a doctoral program because I'm getting my doctorate in leadership right now. So the last 3 years have been extremely stressful. So in the fall, I decided to take a sabbatical. And during the sabbatical to do my dissertation, I decided I needed to take my life back and focus on my health and well-being again, because the last 3 years, I embraced my fatness, which is what I would tell my husband. I'm like, I'm okay with it. And that mindset was completely true. I was okay with it. Well, I'm no longer okay with it. So I decided to take my life back. And in the fall, I decided to try just Isagenix again. Well, it didn't work for me this time. I was a much farther along and much larger than I was the first time. And just doing that program didn't really work for me. So I just kept searching, and I'm guessing that's how I found this, was just, seeing all these tips and tricks and things. So I'm guessing that's how I got here.
So I'm just curious, what do you think wasn't working? You just weren't getting the results, or was it trying to figure out the 400, 600 calorie meal, 2 snacks and 2 shakes? Was it?
I think I wasn't adding in. I think my mind of what healthy foods were not really what was healthy for me at the time. And
Okay.
like the snacks, I don't think really worked for me. Like I have a cabinet full of great stuff that I probably won't use because it doesn't seem to do anything for me. The eggs and everything else that I'm eating now are much better for me. And I
How
enjoy
about
them
those teenagers in your house? Would they take those on?
I've been trying. They don't want to try it.
Okay. I'm just curious because and I have to pause for a minute and say kudos to you, because mine was in kindergarten when we went remote, and I watched what happened there. So I can only imagine what the backside of that looked like, knowing what the backside of my middle school education looked like. So I want to pause and say thank you for those who pushed through during the pandemic, because wow. And kindergarten, bless you. So you found the ER shred in the Isagenix community. So you came in and you joined us and you looked around, and what'd you think?
I thought it was amazing. I love the playfulness of it. Like I said, I'm working on my dissertation, and what I'm researching right now is play and playfulness still around in kindergarten? And honestly, I think the fun playfulness of the group is what really attracted me to it.
Because we're just a bunch of big kids.
We all should be.
Exactly. And that's what we accept. And I think that's why, I know with my conversation with Kathy last night, we all kind of found our home where we felt like we didn't fit, where everybody's so serious and rigid and measuring everything. And we don't fit in that community, or at least I don't feel that I do. And my students will tell you I'm the same way in my classroom. My classroom adds variety to their day, is what I like to say. So you did so you spent your time in the guides, and you said you watched for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And you digested the guides, and then what was it that finally made you commit to trying it?
I was like, well, this isn't working. I need to try something new and see if it works. And it's 11 days. Anybody could do anything for 11 days. And if it doesn't work, I could find something else. But it worked. It was hard. It was a big change of mindset and food. Like everything tasted horrible at first. And I wasn't used to like the grass-fed anything and the collagen broth. I absolutely I did this the first few times and I'm like, do I really have to have that? And now I absolutely love it.
So I know we've got our new community group shred has started this Monday. We're all on reset day 1, but we've seen some comments around the bone broth and around the grass-fed meat. So how did you get through that dislike of those on your 11 days? What tips would you say to a new shredder who's like, I'm not doing the bone broth, it's gross? What would you say to them?
So I just invited a few friends to join as well. They may be watching, and I told them, I'm like, buy it. You may not like it the first day, but here's what I did. The first day I did that, I got one down. And then I went back to the guides and I started reading and I started researching why am I doing this to myself? And then the second day I told myself, I'm going to do this. It tastes great. It's good for me. And it literally was the mindset thing. And I just kept telling myself over and over, and I made myself enjoy it. So by that second day of the cleanse, I actually enjoyed it.
I love that, because you interrupted your mindset and you disrupted it, and you switched the language that it was coming from a positive vibration, and all of a sudden it tasted better. Same with the grass-fed meat.
I had to try other brands. I haven't gone back to the brand that I first started with because I didn't know if it was that or if it was me. I may go back now, but I found a brand that actually tastes amazing. I couldn't even tell you what it is, but I think with that, it was trial and error. And I'm now enjoying that as well. And my family all loves it now too.
That's so awesome. So awesome. So what was your 11 days? Tell us your journey after you got over the pinching your nose to drink the bone broth. Tell us about the rest of your journey.
So the 11 days, I was kind of sad. I started right before the February group shred. I was like 2 or 3 days ahead of everybody. And then I regretted it because I enjoyed watching the group. Like I like doing things in groups. I do much better as a team. So I was a few days ahead. So like when everyone's like, we're cleansing, I'm like, no, I'm now eating. So I told myself I have to do a group shred. And then March came along and I couldn't do that one. And I was like, oh, so I'm finally in a group shred, by the way. This is my 4th and I'm doing it as a team. But so after that first one, got through and I was excited to measure, and I was so proud of myself. Like I no longer was craving sweets, which always happens after cleansing. I've always hated, and I've had a love-hate relationship with cleansing. It's more on the love side now, because I really am seeing a lot more results. But I know that my cravings disappear and I just feel better after doing that. So then on that 12th day I measured, and that just sent me through the roof. I was like, okay, I've been doing Isagenix now for 6 months again, and nothing was happening really, like little movements, but nothing like this. And like the first time I lost 12 pounds and 16¼ inches.
Wow.
So I was like, and this works. So then I got confused on like how to introduce foods, and I introduced a few too many. And then I was like, I don't feel great. I'm just starting again. So I think it was like the 5 days later, I started my second one.
So I have a question for you. You realized you didn't go slow. How did you get past that and get yourself to say, I'm going back to baseline and I'm going to try it again? And because it sounds like you're in a very positive light about that you're not beating yourself up over that, and you just kind of committed to keep going because it's a journey. So can you share a little bit more about that?
Sure. So I was very torn on like, how do you really introduce just one thing at a time? I don't have that kind of patience. So I was like, well, let's just eat one meal that we normally eat and see how I do. And then if like lemon chicken didn't work for me, I know it's either the lemon or the capers because it had 2 ingredients in it. So I was like, okay, if I do that, I could then try to figure out the one. Well, I did that and it seemed to be okay. And then I ate something, I couldn't even tell you what it is at this moment. I'm like trying to block it, I think, out of my mind. And I felt the worst I ever felt. Like my face was on fire. And I was like, oh, I'm starting an 11-day again. And I'm never having that again. I'd have to go back through my food journal to figure out what it is. But
that's the key. You journaled it so you know. You're identifying your food blueprint. And so what did you learn the second time around when you gave yourself the patience to give it a couple of days between trying things? What did you learn?
I learned that there's not many things I need to add back in. Like there were just a few things that I was like, okay, this is a necessity. I love lemon. I love that as a seasoning. I love asparagus. So like certain things where I'm like, I don't need to add everything. And then after the second shred, it became my birthday, my husband's birthday, and my son's birthday. So there was way too many celebrations to even try to, like, I wanted to go to the party and be like, I'm not going to eat the food that you made, but I didn't want to insult my mother-in-law either. So I just was like, and just.
So you lived life knowing that even if you veer off the tracks a little bit, you know how to come right back to it.
And that was exactly it. I started right again after that last little celebration, and that was my third shred. And I got to say, like, after that one, I lost 20 and a half pounds total and 43 and a half inches.
Whoa. 43 and a half inches.
Now, I got to tell you, I do measure parts that are not on the thing that everybody else has, because there are certain areas that I want to know if they are shrinking. So I might have more inches due to the more areas being measured, but
doesn't matter.
And I know how I'm doing.
Doesn't matter. That's still amazing. And congratulations. That's got to feel good. And I love how you shared, I don't need to add everything back in. You're right. You know, our ancestors didn't have all of these modern day products. They just had little creepers behind them like I do. But they didn't need this massive blueprint of food. When you find those few things that you need, do you feel deprived?
No.
Do you feel restricted?
No. But I did give myself, so I did go away this past weekend with friends who are the ones that may be on here now, because I finally get to share with people. But I went away crafting because that's my other passion. And we eat yummy food.
Yeah.
I don't find it that yummy anymore. I got to tell you, like, I felt horrible by day 2. I was like, okay, I'm glad I brought some shakes along and things. So actually, when we go away again, I think I'm going to pack more of my own food or offer to make meals that go along with what I'm eating.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, when I go, racing season's about to start back up. They're going to pack their cooler. I pack my own personal cooler. I pack double because when I eat my own food, somebody helps himself to my food as well. But if you're prepared, shredders are always prepared. I feel like we're always ready. And I also think kindergarten has prepared you for that too.
Definitely.
Is there anything else on your heart you want to share with us that I didn't ask you about tonight?
No, I think I'm enjoying the journey. I'm so glad to be part of this group shred, and I just love how supportive everybody is.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer, for coming on. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
I'll find it later. All right. Next on my list would be Kimberly Darpino. Did I say that correctly? Are you out there and do you know how to unmute?
I'm unmuted.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you for having me on this call.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you on this call. So can you tell us where you're calling in from?
Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Are you in weather warnings as well?
Not right now, no.
Okay, just checking, because Mimi was saying earlier she was getting some weather warnings in Florida. I don't know the Florida area to know how related people are.
We had some earlier.
Gotcha. So
Yeah,
what is it you're passionate about?
Cooking, creating recipes, gardening, and the love of animals.
And you know, it was mentioned to me to ask you about the recipes because you love to be sharing them with us, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm going to create more. I really am.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm so
Yes.
excited. We love, and that's one of the things that I love about our community is that we embrace everybody for the talents that they're able to bring to us. And it's open for anybody who wants to share with us. So thank you for doing that. We really do appreciate that because, I mean, I'm okay with a ribeye on the grill every night because I'm boring. But some people want to be more creative with their shred approved ingredients. And so when people get creative and share, it just gives people more variety options if they want to. So thank you for that. So who shared ER Shred with you?
I've been on Isagenix for almost 7 years, and I watch Lisa Oken a lot. She's a friend of mine, and she told me about shredding a year ago, and I did it for a week, and I lost 9 pounds, 19 inches, and I felt fantastic. And then I don't know why I stopped, to be honest with you. I have no clue, no idea. I just went back onto the regular way.
Sometimes I feel like when something's so different than the norm,
Hmm.
until we get our head that it's okay, maybe that could have been something, but it doesn't matter because it was your journey and you weren't fully there yet, but you are now.
Exactly.
Because I see you showing up in the
Yes.
community, and that's what it's about. And that
Exactly.
really truly excites me because I see your energy and I see it come out in your posts. And Lisa Oken is wonderful. Absolutely adore her.
She is.
I feel like I know her, but I've never actually met her in person. Do you feel that in this community? Do you feel like you know people you've never met?
Absolutely. This community is everything. It
It's
really
so
is.
fun. It really
Definitely.
is. So you were going back to so you came to the ER Shred and you tried that first 5 days. What was it that brought you there besides Lisa saying, hey, try this thing? What made you say, I want to try it?
This time coming back was the suffering. I'm going to share something personal. We had a family wedding.
Mhm.
After the wedding, 6 of us caught COVID. And 10 days later into that, I lost my middle sister.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Yeah, the grief and the loss can
Yeah.
really.
The suffering was the discomfort.
Yeah.
That's where I was.
And it's so
Spiraling.
hard with grief that's significant
Mm-hmm.
to take care of yourself. And
Plus,
that's
during the COVID, I just felt like the sugar and the carbs was comfort. So I started that vicious cycle over and over and over again until I saw myself in a picture. I was doing a vendor event and I saw myself in my picture and I was like, wow, the puffiness, the inflammation,
Mhm.
the joint discomfort.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And side effects of that nasty bug.
exactly.
Sometimes anything tastes when your taste is affected in that way, you crave differently based on how you respond to that and what your body decides it wants to do.
Exactly.
So, and that's part of grief is part of our journey. Sickness can sometimes unfortunately be part of our journey because we don't all live in bubbles away from everything else, right? We like to be active and live life, which we want to just be the healthiest we can possibly be.
Absolutely.
So you saw that picture and that picture was kind of your in the face reality, right? Is that how you took it?
It was like the aha moment. The fact that I couldn't cross my legs anymore. The fact that I hadn't worn a bra, sports bra, gentlemen, not a regular bra. Sorry.
Sorry, those are a workout in themselves.
Exactly.
You know what, guys? But put a sweaty sports bra is a workout all in itself, and they will never understand.
No, it's a whole nother level.
Right. So
I said, it's time to hit that reset button again.
So did you reach back out to Lisa or did you just pay attention in the community because you had tried it before? How did you get restarted?
I just hopped right back in, read the guides, everything is there. Everybody participates, everybody helps you. You have a question, and I just rolled with it. And I enjoyed the first round, and I lost 9 pounds and another 19 inches, and my BMI went down 1.9. And I was like, this is great. Now I can introduce food, different things. Well, I like to create. So here's when it comes into play again. 4 or 5 days, 6th day, get that feeling, and you just know, nope, hit the reset button again. Something doesn't agree. Keep the journal going, and really find out what the trigger is.
I love that both of you have referenced the need to journal on your journey, because I think that's so key, that you're empowered to know that your body's telling you something. And then
Not all foods are your friend.
no,
They're not.
I used to always grow snap peas because they were my favorite. Not anymore. They're not going in the garden this year because they're not. But I think being able to be in tune with yourself enough that 4 or 5 days you feel it and you say, okay, and you know how to get back to that button and you know how to interrupt yourself. Because when you were coming out of the illness and still coping with the grief, you didn't have that ability, from what it sounded like what you shared, you didn't have
Correct.
the ability to snap yourself out of it.
Correct.
Now you go 4 days, no big deal, and you can snap yourself back out of it.
Totally.
How does that feel?
Feels empowering. Feels phenomenal. I want to scream it from the rooftops. I want to share it with everybody. And I just want people to know that you actually should feel this good every day of your life. You really should.
Right. And I know we talk about you don't know how bad you felt until that you feel this good.
True.
Because like, what was my good days before are my bad days now.
Totally.
And it's crazy. It's crazy. So 9 pounds, 19 inches. How about sleep, stress management, mindset, non-scale victories?
Non-scale victories, being able to sleep. I was putting my head down and crying myself to sleep, which I don't feel bad about because it's all part of the process.
Absolutely,
But
it is.
now that I feel better, and now that I have a better relationship with food again, and I'm doing yoga 3 times a week, and I'm back at the gym, and I'm interacting, and I have such a rest and a calm and an ease, and I'm giving myself the nurturing and the love talks, and I'm focusing on today, in the moment, 8 hour sleep, boom. I don't even have to worry about setting the Fitbit. I just wake up and I'm ready to go with the day because I feel so good.
That's huge, because honestly, that's quality of life, isn't it?
True.
Being able to be active like that, to be able to get rest so you actually can be present in what you're doing. That's your vibration coming up.
A ton of energy.
Isn't it crazy?
It's like a top spinning. When am I going to stop?
But yet it's still controlled, right?
Yes, it is.
The energy level, I agree with you, is like a top spinning because we can just keep going.
Yes.
But it's not going anywhere out of control.
Not at all.
It's like the focus and the clarity and the strength is there in such a different way.
And I love, like, after I journal, I meditate and I think about what I journaled and where I want to go and where I want to start my day and what I want to do and how I want to spend it with ease. And that's how I shut my night down.
That's great advice for people who are struggling. That's a really good way to find that way to calm. Do you think that journaling and meditation has an impact on your sleep too?
100%.
So what would your advice to shredders be?
Don't be a harsh critic. Really don't. The self-talk, give yourself the self-love. We all deserve it. Don't be hard on yourselves. This is the easiest path to find for 11 days to truly look within and find out. Just try new things and enjoy life every day. Embrace it.
I absolutely love that. Now, when you think people struggle and they share that struggle with the community, do you think the community is hard on them, or do you think the community embraces them to help them find that self-love?
Oh, this community is everything. I've had people popping in my inbox. Melanie, a few other people.
Oh, you can always count on a good voice clip from Mimi.
The love, it totally made a difference. I really feel now intuitive eating is my passion.
Intuitive eating is so critical. You don't eat to live. You don't live to eat, you eat to live.
Yes.
And there's a lot of power behind that. So is there anything else on your heart you want to share with the shredders before we move on?
I just want to thank each and every one of you for having me on this call and allowing me and supporting me. Thank you. It means a lot.
Thank you, Kimberly. Amazing share. Ann Woodson, are you out there?
Hi. I'm
Hi.
in my really weirdly lit basement, so I apologize for like the Hollywood lights behind me, but we're gonna keep moving.
You're good. You notice mine? I shut my room lights off and kind of propped a light up to try and get a better angle. It's all good.
All good.
No judgment on that here at all. So welcome, Ann. Where are you calling in from?
I'm in Northern Virginia.
Northern Virginia. And what's your passion?
Currently it's mostly fitness related, like helping people, fitness related stuff.
That's awesome. What's your favorite fitness thing to share with people?
That they can create their own plan and they can adjust their own plan based on feedback from their body. And a lot of that came from this, right? Like, so, you know, for years and years and years in fitness, whether it's workouts or diet, people get handed something and then they say it doesn't work. And then they throw their hands in the air because they don't adjust it themselves. They don't have the confidence and the empowerment to do that. So I love it. I love setting people up to fish instead of giving them a fish. It's good stuff.
Isn't that so good?
Like the best. Yeah.
Because then they can start to act on their own and you don't need to hold their hands.
Right. And what works for one person totally is not going to work for the same for another person. So I know when I started in the ER Shred group, like I asked Jesse like 4,000 questions and he was like, well, this works for me. However, it may not work for you. Right. And it took me a while to click into that and to really start. I mean, obviously there are basic tenets and there are guides. Like I think I joined before there were even guides, honestly. So I'm an old timer, but I appreciate the guides because it makes things really clear. And when you're sharing it with other people, it's much better than being like, I think this is how I did it. But anyway, it's great. It's great to have all that information.
So you've been around a while. When was your first ER Shred?
Okay, so this is so funny. So I was looking back at the comments on my other phone when I was hearing from other people. So I tried my first ER Shred in October of, could it be 2020? Yeah.
So
yeah,
you
October
are
28th.
You are an OG.
Yep.
That was
OG,
the
right.
second group shred. That's when I started. And that's why you didn't have the guides yet.
Fun. Now, here, epic fail right here. So if anybody's on this call and they're thinking of trying it, don't do it. I tried to do it, but like fat free. So like with egg whites and chicken breast, right. Right. So guess who epically failed because she was starving. I mean, I came from the land of eating like, you can't believe it's not butter spray. Don't even. So, right. So I got tired and grumpy and cranky. So I basically like asked 1,000 questions and then bottomed out of that group. And I was like, this isn't for me because I don't want all that red meat and butter and blah, right? If you see what I eat now, the sheer volume of meat, everything's in melted butter. Like it's insane. And so anyway, so my first real shred was like January 4th. I'm like, okay, people are getting some traction here. I'm just going to have to eat the yolks. I'm going to have to slather on the butter and get some more steaks out. I love steak, but I kept asking the question about, can I add vegetables? Like, can I roast broccoli? Can I?
And because you talked to Jesse, I'm sure you got a hard nope.
Right.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Suck it up, Buttercup. And I was like, but I really like vegetables. They're good for my digestion until I did it the right way. I think it was like January 4th through the 15th because I was looking back at comments. And my husband did it with me. And he's like a big rule follower. So we did it like by the book. And I was like, this is delicious. And then you hit the cleanse days and you're like, wait a minute, if I'm not chasing down, because again, I used to do cleanse days through old school Isagenix, nothing wrong with it. But for me, if I'm eating the chocolates and a lot of the sweeter snacks, I'm starving, like starving, so hungry. Well, and then I would start dipping into like the apple because I had low blood sugar and the almonds, right? And so really it wasn't a cleanse day.
And what I noticed too is that the cleanse is sweet, the delights are sweet, yes. The oat bakes are sweet, the fat bake bomb things, they're all sweet.
All sweet.
There's nothing wrong with them.
Right.
but it
Back
was
in the
sweet
day, I don't
on
know if
sweet
they sell
on
them.
sweet that I never
Right.
felt like I ate a meal.
No, not at all. And my husband got really into the whey. I don't know if they still sell those crisps,
The whey
sour
thins?
cream and onions. Yeah. And for me, I was like, okay, now I just want like a soda. Like it was the salty. Anyway, the snacks didn't work for me really well, but I had good success with like OG Isagenix for years. And Kimberly Connolly is who shared it with me. But when Shred came up, she's like, you know, this new group is popping up. And I think even didn't the Shred group's name change from like a different business name to this one? And
Body
I was
Alive.
like, I'm in it already. Look at that.
We were
Boom.
Body Alive before we were ER Shred.
Okay, cool. So, but anyway, so yeah, so that first shred, and I was like, well, okay, so that worked. And then I kind of just stuck with it. I was like posting all my pictures of pan shakes with butter dripping off it, like so happy, like so delicious and always full. It took me a long time to get fat adaptive. And I know I posted something about that like over the, like in the fall, because for me, that was one of the harder things was I felt like just giving up the carbs and the sugar and everything, that quick twitch, like easy burn energy for like longer workouts wasn't there yet. And I kind of talked through it with Jesse 1,000 times. He's very patient. And then when I hit it, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is a fuel source that is like, there's literally there's no this like in my workouts. Like I can be on it like today, cleanse day. I don't know if we're supposed to say this or not, but like I worked out twice and I feel great. I'm like,
and that's the thing. And here's what I want to pause and just say, you are an athlete, your body is active, and you have been cleansing and shredding for a while. So
yeah, that's true.
Working out now, it makes sense.
Right.
I went to spin class tonight on a cleanse day, but I've been
Awesome.
shredding since back in October.
Right.
Although I added the fat right away because I like my butter.
Yeah. I love my butter.
And I've been spinning for a year, so I knew my body in a fasted state
Yeah.
could handle it. If you are brand new and this is your first cleanse day,
Yep.
don't push it beyond like a 30-minute walk.
Yeah. And even since, I've been cleansing for a long time, but there are some shreds where I just know, like on the cleanse days, I feel like my body needs all the energy to clean. And so, but it's funny because like the energy of this lifestyle, like just bouncing around like a gummy bear, you know, and my husband's like, oh, you know, you just take on these projects and you're just moving and going and going. And it's not like a manic because it's not fueled like this, right? It's like this just steady state. And I never feel like tired, lethargic, weighed down, like I need a nap after a meal, like at all. I just feel like I've eaten something.
Right. Like Kimberly says, you're a spinning top that just keeps spinning. But
Right.
it's a controlled spin that you can be that Tasmanian devil by cleaning up the mess instead of making the mess in that whirlwind. But that's just the energy level that comes when you use fat for your fuel source.
Yeah, it's awesome. Totally awesome.
So you said your husband joined you on that. So how did that go? Was it better because he was with you and he's the rule follower to kind of push you to add that fat and break that mindset?
Yeah, so it totally did. He kind of comes in and back out of Isagenix and shredding. And so that's okay for me because like I got it now and I'm good to go. And like, you know, I'm just over there sauteing my stuff in butter, like my meat in butter. And, you know, sometimes he kind of goes with that. Sometimes he goes back to like original Isagenix stuff too, like where he's like got his 2 shakes and his meal and his snacks, and that like is easier for him to think through. Totally cool with me. For me, because I've seen such great results with this, I don't want to change anything. And, you know, a little bit over the summer, I kind of got back into like margaritas and chips and salsa, all delicious, did not serve me. So I chose to then let them back out the front door and go back to what fuels me. And I feel amazing all of a sudden again. And it's crazy because so my first shred, I know I'm like answering questions, but because I've heard you ask other people. So my first shred, I lost like 9 or 10 pounds in like 12 inches. And then, but since then, cumulatively, it's like well over 25 pounds. And my body has just changed. It's just muscle. Like the muscle gets what it needs because of the protein. And so I can perform and I'm faster. I'm a faster runner. I can run longer. I can lift heavier. Every aspect just is fueled now. Like, I don't know what I was doing before, honestly, not fueling the right way, I guess, for my body.
But but it wasn't that in your mind from before. It wasn't wrong because that's what you knew.
Right. Right.
Like the shredder way is not yet. Notice how I'm
Right.
putting yet in there.
Right.
The way of the norm in society. So the egg
Right.
whites and the chicken breast and everything that you were doing before
Right.
is what you had been taught.
Right.
So
And I was
you didn't
literally
know any
hungry
different.
as I would finish a meal, I would be starving. So, you know, and it's funny because my sister has slowly come over to this now in her own way. And it's one of those things where like she would literally like stand next to me in my kitchen and be like, just watching it, you know, like with like the butter and like I eat steak fat. It's like my favorite food on the planet. Like actually my kids are like, Mom, is animal fat good for you? Like the whole lacrosse team knows, like ask Miss Woodson about animal fat. It's like, they're like, who's that crazy lady? But she's also jacked. So maybe we eat some animal fat. You know what I mean? Like, and not that I am all the time, you know, it's just the point that like, it's challenging what all of society has told you for so long. Like go grab a low fat granola bar laden in sugar before you go for a run, or go grab whatever it is. And just constantly leaving yourself hungry and craving something else immediately. What was crazy for me, so I'm like all into macros, and you don't have to do that to be in shred or anything. It's more like when you kind of like want to troubleshoot, like where should I live, right?
Bingo. It's a tool to help you troubleshoot.
Totally. And so, but for me, because I was already doing macros, I was blown away that like I could keep my calories the same or higher, but by switching out to such higher ratios of protein and fat that I could lose weight. Like that totally blows the mind off of like calories in, calories out, right? Totally bananas. Like, it's like, this is something my body can readily use, as opposed to like figuring out what to do with it and making me hungry for things I can't use, you know? So it's really cool to see how it all clicks together.
That's so exciting. So the lacrosse team, what age group are we looking at?
14-year-olds. Yep.
It's always good to educate them.
They're awesome. And so, you know, one of the guys, he's really good. And he said, he's a sweet kid. And he's, you know, he asked me, he's like, what do you use? My mom has this protein shake. It's disgusting. And I was like, well, here's what I have. And I gave it to him. And of course, like the first time he tried it, he was like, I don't like it. And I said, well, you know, not shredding, like you could add some like peanut butter to it, or like something like to add a little like, and now the kid is like obsessed with it. But it's just that mindset of like, you have to get away from, because there's so many protein powders and shakes on the market that are just jammed with artificial sugar, so that it tastes like you're eating cake. Well, that's not really, for me, that is a grody taste. But it's cool to see like the kids, and then that made my son be like, oh, now I want a shake for breakfast. Everybody's like taking my shake. But it's cool because they get that there's different qualities of nutrients, and what you put in your body matters. And like at one of the lacrosse tournaments, all the parents were lined up at this food truck, and the only thing I could figure out was like to get like 3 chicken sandwiches, but like no bun. And I was just sitting there like eating, and I asked for like a side of butter, and I'm like swirling it around with hot sauce because it's not a culprit for me. And parents are like, what are you eating? I'm like, 3 chicken breasts dipped in butter. Like, it's just what I want to eat. I don't want to eat nachos right now. It's just not what I want. So I guess I don't mind being a little weird because it serves me well, you know?
It's all good. And it'll show your son it's okay to do what feels good for you. Like,
yeah, totally.
That's leading by example. So does he do any of the shred style lifestyle with you?
Oh yeah. Put the protein in first. That's like the whole house knows that, all the way down to my 6-year-old daughter. Like, put the protein in first, eat something that's going to fill you up. You know, the junk is like the 20%, you know, and it's hard with kids, man.
Yeah.
But like things like he's like, you don't eat that stuff. Like if we go and it's a birthday party and he's like, I don't really want cake. I'm like, oh, you don't want cake? He's like, do you eat cake? I'm like, I don't, not because I can't, but because I choose not to. It's just not, it doesn't. And as kids get older and sports get competitive, they want their bodies to feel good when they're out there for 3-4 hours. They don't want to feel junky and weighed down, you know?
Yeah. No, my little monster, I don't like cake. I don't like cookies.
Right.
What do you want for dessert? Berries?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Works
done
for me. So do you find that because this lifestyle is easy enough that you can keep up with your kids and and family meals just seem easier?
Oh yeah. It's very easy because you don't buy all the other rows in the store, right? And it's so easy. My kids know every night there's a protein source. I mean, the amount of steak that gets eaten in my house, and I know it's expensive, so sometimes we do like roasts or whatever, but they always know there's gonna be a hunk of meat on their plate and like a non-starchy vegetable, right? And then we figure out like who's got what, and you know, it's so easy. It's so easy. I'm not making like 6 meals for different, because they get the value in it, and they know when they go to, I'm not going to name any fast food chains, but when they go and they eat it and then they try to do anything but fall right asleep, and they're like, ugh, you know, I feel gross. Like, all right, cool. Not saying no, but you're probably going to need to eat after that, because that's not how we eat at home, you know?
So my question for you to tell shredders, what would you tell those who are thinking about it, but say they can't because they have to feed the kids at home? What's your advice to them?
So I would say you can always feed the kids at home. Cleanse days are a little hard at first, although I will say, and I know I'm now long-winded, but cleanse days when I was using more of like the sugary traditional snacks under Isagenix were a lot harder for me, because I was hungry looking at like whatever I was making them, pasta and meatballs or whatever. Now I'm just not really, like I'm sipping on, like I was drinking my bone broth, like, you know, before our call, and like I just literally I'm so satiated, and I'm like good, also because I eat so much fat on the other days. But anyway, keeping up with kids. So I have 3 kids, 14, 11, and 6. They all love food. So like I will make like homemade meatballs or a big old roast, or like pork. I do pork tenderloin. We do beef. We do steaks. We do dark meat, like kind of greasy chicken. And then they can swap out their sides, you know? I mean, the one unifier in our house, everybody is broccoli. So when I'm not shredding, I love broccoli, and I know that it gets converted, but like, I feel like I'm also using that and it doesn't upset my stomach. So good to go. But everybody eats broccoli. And then like somebody might want like rice or a roll or whatever it is. So it's good, you know, it's, there are things that like the 6-year-old, she would eat chicken noodle soup every night if she could. She doesn't. But that's for druthers, you know, but I would say, yeah, put the stuff in your cart first that matters, that everybody can eat, right? And spend the most of your money there. And then if you need to add a couple things here and there for them, do that. But like, for me, it's pretty easy, because everybody knows, like, I think anyone in my family, even the 6-year-old, could go grocery shopping for us at any given time. Like, they know what we buy. They know what we don't buy.
That's awesome. And the other thing that I think living this lifestyle and teaching the kids young, for me personally anyways, is that we then have the energy to keep up with them. So we're active with them.
Yeah, totally.
Like, have your kids noticed that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, you know, I've always been pretty active, like with the kids' schools and activities. Like I'm the team mom for both lacrosse teams, and I'm always the room mom for every classroom. And I work 3 jobs. So I work out a lot. And so it's not that other things get not done around here. I just get up earlier because I have the energy, and I go to bed because I sleep well. And I have that constant energy. People are always like, how old are you? And you know, it's always that, like, which is kind of like a little underhanded, that like, how do you do it all? And you're like, well, because I just do. Like, I don't make excuses. Like if something matters to me, I just go do it. Mm-hmm. And so I felt great. I mean, even people at work at all the jobs are like, wow, I mean, you just get stuff done. And I'm like, it's all part of that, not to even get into another chapter, but like the shredder mentality of like, you just cut away anything that does not matter. And it gives you so much more energy for what matters, right? And you are where your attention is. So if you're focused on your core beliefs and what matters to you, you don't have to deal with the other fluffy noise. And it's so easy to cut it away. Like, you're like, oh, this is on my critical path. This is not, you know, doesn't matter.
I love that. Just cut the fluff. Get to what's critical.
As your body cuts the fluff, your mind cuts so much more of the fluff. And even like interpersonally and everything, you just, you realize what, you know, what matters to you and who in your world you want to expose yourself to. And that's it. Easy.
I love that. Is there anything else on your heart that you want to share with the shredders in the community?
I would say just be patient with yourself. Like I've fallen off a couple times and kind of like into old habits. You know, and it's quick though. It's like the getting back to where I feel good is so much quicker now. I'm kind of like, oh, whatever, major life event, pity party, half a day, boom, back. You know what I mean? Because I already know how good I feel and I don't want to get too far off of that. And so it's cool. Like I would say, be patient with yourself. Life happens. And just like this shred, I wasn't planning on doing this shred. And I got like FOMO a little bit. And I was like, you know what? You should probably go ahead and jump in. So I just jumped in. You know?
I love that. And for those of you who don't know the acronym, FOMO, fear of missing out.
I was
And
like,
I
I
think
start
that's
to see all the bubbles of people like with their fun, like shred day. And I'm like, I'm in. I'm so in right now. Like, feels great. End of day
I
one.
love that.
So ready to jump like up and down. Like, I feel amazing. It's like, it's the craziest thing that after years of these cleanse days and a year and a half of this type of cleanse, that you can still get like elated. Like, it's like the best gift going. And it's always that anxiety of like, do I want to do a cleanse day? Do I not? Do I want to do a cleanse day? Do I not? That's why the group shreds are great. Cause you're kind of like, I'm in, you know, like I don't want to not, cause then I'm going to miss it, you know?
Right.
So it's
I
cool.
love that. I absolutely love that. And now we're able to connect these groups. So thank
Totally.
you, Anne, for your
Sure thing.
share. I appreciate you. We all appreciate you. Is Bobby Hannah out there? I didn't see them in the chat, but I'm going to give it one more. And then if not, okay, I don't think they made it on the call, but that's okay. We can reach out to them next time. But can we give some swords to these friends who shared tonight? Because they are awesome shred warriors that are here for us sharing, because you know, you never know who's going to connect with what story. And that's what I love about these calls, is we hear from such a variety of people, because our community is such a variety of people, that we welcome everybody with open arms. And you are on your path. We are just providing you the tracks to run on. And so when you share your story, you're empowered, you become a superhero to share that forward. So on behalf of the ER Shred Board, I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you for those of you who shared. We hope you guys have a great night. Lenny Evans tomorrow. Next Tuesday will be a holistic corner interview with myself and Susan on Shred Your Body. So be prepared for that coming live. And then we'll catch you all back in the Zoom next Wednesday for the Come Alive call. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you, Heather.